SoFi stock, SoFi Technologies Inc. It gained 5.33% in the session of the 1st of November 2022. 158.8 million shares across the tape. It was one of the most active stocks in that session. And there's a report from Morningstar written by one of its equity analysts, Michael Miller, and they're saying no moat SoFi Technologies. No moat actually means a company with no moat has either no advantage or expected to dissipate relatively quickly. When companies are successful and earning excess profits, they often become targets for competitors who may pose a threat to its profits. So moving on with the report, they're saying that the company reported, as you may have heard, strong third quarter earnings that came in above expectations as it recently acquired bank charter, and rising interest rates continue to drive impressive net interest income growth for the company. Net revenue increased 56% from last year and 16.8% sequentially to $424 million. That said, the company remains unprofitable, losing $0.09 per share compared with $0.05 last year, which benefited from a $64.4 million fair value adjustment and $0.12 last quarter. As they incorporated these results, they do not plan to alter their $15 fair value estimate for SoFi. So SoFi's lending business, its largest source of revenue, grew 33% from last year to $301.7 million. Growth came mostly from rising net interest income, which increased 93% year over year and 22.4% sequentially to $139.5 million. The benefit of SoFi's recently acquired bank charter continues to flow through the company's results as access to retail deposits allows SoFi to improve its cost of funding and hold loans it makes for longer before selling them, generating more interest in the process. Once again, SoFi's deposit growth came in well above their expectations, rising 86% from last quarter to $5 billion. Deposits are now around 50% of SoFi's total funding structure, and they at Morningstar see SoFi's success here as a major driving force behind a recent string of strong results for the firm. So the folks at Schaefer's Investment Research also observed, amongst other things, that they added 424,000 new members during the quarter. And then going on with what happened with the stock today, the 1st of November, they're saying that option bulls are targeting the security in response to all of these relatively positive outcomes. So SoFi was earlier at the top of stock tweets trending list, and by the time they wrote this piece, 461,000 calls had been exchanged, which definitely must have ultimately was more than that compared to 120,000 puts. So the weekly November the 4th $6 and $6.50 strike calls are the most popular, with the new positions opening at both. So they're also saying that there's a consensus price target of $8.29, and the folks at Morningstar have a fair value estimate of $15. So let's look at those options and see what's going on there. So these are the November 11th. This is the November 11th series. You can see there's a significant volume there on the $6 strike, 53,879. Open interest 64,241. So yes, that's validation. Not so much, not the open interest on the $6.5 strike isn't as much on this November 11th series, but on the November 4th we also, yes, it's that's where that picture is. You can see volume was 79,274 for the $6 strike, open interest 37,360, and open interest on the $6.5 strike 24,621, volume 64,246. So definitely market participants are pricing the move towards $6.50 to say the least. And the fair value, the consensus price target, the consensus price target of 8.29. Let's see, 8.29 is also roughly, let's get it here, 8.29 also roughly, exactly roughly where it was rejected as of the 3rd of August. You can see that when it reached that sort of that price, it was rejected from there, and since that time we have seen a retracement, even though at various times it tried to there were attempts to break that tide, that bearish tide, but it never amounted to anything. But of late now we can see what's going on. Since the 14th of October, since the middle of October, it has continued to inch up nicely and quietly, not with huge spikes, not with huge spikes, and even before this outcome was revealed today, yes, market participants were already anticipating that. We know that things are not so wonderful of late, and usually when earnings are expected, sometimes market participants can actually guess what the outcome will be, and probably they started to price all of that in. So right now, at some point in this session, it crossed above its 50-day moving average, and it has been below that moving average since the 26th of August. So this is the first time it's actually closing above that. It actually closed above that. So it says here, price rose through the 50-day moving average of $5.57 and above average volume. So given all of these things, we can do our plot our projection here, our projection, which will be using this Fibonacci grid to bring it all the way down to its 52-week low of roughly $4.84. As a matter of fact, we had two bottoms that at $4.84. That was the first one was on the 30th of September. The second one was on the 14th of October. Well, there was a 2-week gap, I think, a 2 weeks gap. I don't know whether that's significant enough, but in any case, given those two bottoms, they seem quite far off, quite far off. We have now continued to see an upward trend, but all in all, it's still very much consolidating. So we have upward projection from where it is right now to 5 points. Okay, we have already surpassed 5.65, so the next target will be 6.17, 6.54. So all of these are pretty much in line with what market participants, what option bulls are anticipating, what they are pricing. So a move towards 6.17 and 6.54, all of that are possible, but at the same time, the stock has been rallying since, even though it's broadly speaking, it is still very much consolidating. So it has been on this move since the middle of October. So SoFi appears to be consolidating within a longer term downtrend. The average directional index is below 20, indicating that the shares have traded sideways recently. However, it's also the 200-day moving average is sloping bearishly lower. It's also lagging the S&P 500. Momentum as measured by 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits in positions that were bought at lower prices. The volume for this session was heavier than usual, trading 158,760 shares versus an average of 46.88 million shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. Buyers are more active than sellers, but they're not as aggressive as they were before. They're not as aggressive as they were before. And I think what that also means is that a lot of prices have been entertained in the stock of late as well. That's also what that less aggression means. So since the 14th of October, so a lot of prices the transactions, the daily transactions have involved a more diverse range of prices. So that may have also diluted the momentum, but at the same time as well, uh, buyers are definitely more active than sellers. So upper projection for SoFi 16.6.17, 6.54, and I think 6.62 or thereabout. So see what you make of SoFi. Thank you very much for watching this video.